Hi, it's Miss Summerfield here, and today I'm going to show you how we solve a multiplication calculation using our school's calculation policy. Now we're going to work through concrete, pictorial and abstract methods to solve the same calculation, 23 multiplied by 4. Multiplication means equal groups, and we'll keep that idea all the way through. So we're going to start with just talking about place value. So here we have a place value chart with the headings thousands, hundreds, tens and ones. And whatever is in each column represents the value of each digit. For example, 56 has 5 tens, which is 50, and 6 ones. Now before we look at addition, I would like to explain the zero in a number. Now sometimes there are no ones or no tens in a number. And when that happens, we use a place value holder, which is the number 0. The 0 shows that that place is empty, but it still holds space so the digits stay in the correct columns. For example, the number 1056. So in this number, the 0 means that there are no hundreds. But without that number, without that digit 0, the number would just be 156, which doesn't have the same value as 1056. The 0 doesn't mean that there's nothing important there. It means that there are no hundreds, but the hundreds column still exists. This knowledge is essential for the children to understand place value fully. So the first step of multiplication is the concrete stage, and in the concrete stage we use real objects to represent the calculation. Now today I'm going to use place value counters and different chart. Now we're going to solve the calculation 23 multiplied by 4. That means we've got 4 equal groups of 23. So I'm going to start by making 4 groups. And in each group, I will place 2 tens and 3 ones. So I've physically built those 4 groups: 2 tens, 3 ones, 2 tens, 3 ones, 2 tens, 3 ones, and 2 tens, 3 ones. 23 4 times. So now I'm going to combine all of those tens and all of the ones. So when I count the ones, I notice that I have 10 ones here. I've got more than that, but I've got a group of 10 ones. So when this happens, you can exchange 10 ones for 1 10 because they are equal in value. Now, exchanging is used to help keep those numbers organised, and it supports the children's place value understanding. So now I can add up my tens. Again, if I managed to get 10 tens, I could exchange that for the hundreds. But now I've got my answer. The next stage is the pictorial stage. And instead of using equipment, I'm going to draw what we've just done. So, again, I'm going to draw 4 groups in a table. And I'm going to draw the counters in the correct place value headings. So the picture will still show 4 equal groups of 23. So I'm going to start in my ones, And again, when I combine the ones in my drawing, I get more than 10. So I can exchange 10 of these for 110. And I'm making that exchange. It's the same idea as before. It's just shown in a drawing instead of the equipment. And then I find my amount and I'm moving to the tens column and doing the same there, combining those tens to find my answer. Finally, I'll move on to the abstract stage, where we use numbers and symbols rather than equipment and drawings or representations. And we can do this in two ways. We can use long multiplication and short multiplication. I'm going to show you both. So for long multiplication, I write my calculation, 23 times 4. We still have 4 equal groups of 23. Okay. So to start with, I'm going to start with my ones. And I'm going to partition 23 into 20 and 3. So I'm going to calculate 3 times 4 and 20 times 4. So I've got 3 times 4, which is 12. And I can put it at the brackets at the side, so it's clear and I know what calculation I'm doing. And again, with any abstract method, it is really important that we keep the digits in the correct place value headings. Because if the ones are not in the ones, if the tens are not in the tens column, the calculation will go wrong. And that's why we tend to try and sway the children to doing their maths work on squared paper. Because if they have a square and they put one digit per box, it's really easy to then set their calculations out and get those headings correct. And then we're moving on to 20 times 4. My tens, I'm going to times my tens at the side. 20 times 4, which is 80. I'm then going to add these two together and recombine them, because I partitioned them, I split them up before into tens and ones, and I'm now going to recombine those total amount. So when I add 80 and 12 together, I notice that I can use my addition knowledge and my total is 92. So for the short method of multiplication, we can follow these steps. So we're setting out the calculation again in the correct place value headings. Now I'm going to start my ones like we do. And I'm going to do 3 ones multiplied by 4 ones, which is 12. So when I think about the number 12, I know that there's 2 ones, so I'm going to put the 2 under the ones column. And I'm going to exchange that 10 like this. It goes underneath because it's an exchange 10, so it goes into the tens column. I am then going to say to myself, 2 tens multiplied by 4 is 8 tens. Plus the exchange 1 10 from before equals 9 tens. And that's where it comes from, because we're in the tens column. So there we've got our answer. So we've solved this multiplication using the concrete equipment, pictorial representations and the 2 abstract number methods. And at every stage we're focused on equal groups, the place value and exchanging when we needed it. Now this helps children build a deep understanding of multiplication, not just memorising how we do a method or facts. So I hope this video has been useful to explain how multiplication is taught to your child in our school. And there are other videos for addition, subtraction and division. Thank you for watching.